series, Chrystal Smallwood. She's going to teach us tonight about pyrography. This is Chrystal. She's also an Allied Artist Board member. And
Thank you. Well, thanks for being here, everybody. It's a little bit different of an art form, but it's an ancient one, and I discovered it a few years ago, and I just love every single thing about wood burning, about pyrography. So I will go over a little bit about pyrography, about the tools and the methods, and then we are going to practice, because what better to do for an artist to hands-on learn how to do it. So we'll do that in a little bit. But first, the term of pyrography literally means writing with fire. And so we have the pyro and we have the graphy, and we put it together. So the history of it goes as far back as writing when we had fires to exist by, writing with the ashes that would have been left by the fire and the burned embers. Whatever that writing would have been, whether on rocks or caves or whatever the medium was that we would have used that for. And it became using sticks to write with or draw with that we put in the ashes, to long metal poles that you would heat in the fire, and then you would write with it. And I've watched videos of just very old techniques of using these long metal poles, and it's just magnificent. The artwork and the ability is magnificent. So we went from ancient times, that's the quick version, as it progressed to the Victorian times, where women and children were encouraged to keep themselves busy while at home, with drawing, with hot utensils on wood. So that's what we did in the Victorian times, so mid-1800s to 1900s. It seems to have made a resurgence in the past few years, and I just think it's amazing. On Instagram, if you're on Instagram, there are a number of pyrography people on there, and it really ranges from real basic and real dark kind of work to more finer and refined kind of pieces. So I do it a little bit differently. I do like just the basic wood burning, and then I started adding watercolor to it. So that's kind of my favorite piece. My pieces is to add watercolor. So it's ancient, and I love that it's ancient. And for me, I love that the medium is just natural. I love that it's the elements that the earth already provides for us. And I love that the wood that we have in front of us tells its own story. And so when I pick up a piece of wood, not specifically what's in front of us, because these are specific sizes, but when I pick up a piece of wood, I want to see what comes out of that. And I want to see what fits in it, and I want to see what will help the marriage of the wood and the art piece come together to make one. And I just think that's incredible to me. I love that we can use the things that the earth already gives us. I've brought some different styles of pieces tonight that I want to show you because it's varied in what we can do. This one is a little bit more basic. It's the boys' home at the Sabbath Day Lake Shaker Village in Maine. And so my process is that I take the picture and then I size it to the wood and use graphite paper, which I'll demonstrate here in a minute. Put the paper in the graphite paper, trace it, remove both papers, and then that's what I burn from. There's a little bit of discussion in the wood burning pyrography world if we should use pictures or if we should just freehand. I'm not a great freehander, so I go with the pictures, and I'm okay with that. But this is a little bit basic. It's straight lines. There's not a lot of composition to it. It probably took me 5 or 6 hours max. This one is also of a chair at a Quaker house in Maine. I was on sabbatical last fall, and I spent a little bit of silent time in a Quaker house, meeting house in Maine, in Pasco, Maine. And this chair is sitting in the corner. It's one of my favorite pieces. I love the shadows. It's a little more intricate than the house is because it has the shadows and it has the old floorboards, and it has the lighting marks. The only thing that I used on this was a wood burning tool. And there's no paint on this, there's nothing else. It's just a matter of the temperature of the burner. It's a matter of the pressure that we put onto the wood, and how deep and dark it goes, and how much, we always start light because you can make it dark, but if you start dark in wood burning, it's a process to scrape it or just start over. So this is one of my favorite ones, but I did this and it struck me because when I look at this, I want you to be able to wonder what you would think about if you were sitting on this chair. And I want you to be able to put yourself in that chair. And in the silence of the Quaker house, what would my own thoughts be? This is a sunflower. This one I did freehand, and there is watercolor on there. So these two pieces of wood, most of what I use is basswood. Come on in. This is black walnut, which is excessively hard wood. It's very, very hard, and it's very, very hard to burn. So if you can see the difference between the burns, it's just, like I'll never use black walnut again to burn. The smoke content is more, but it's just really difficult to burn. And then it's such dark wood that the paint doesn't come through well anyway. This is a miner's lantern from the Ashland Historical Society. And again, this is just burned. There's no paint on this or anything. Depending on how lightly we use the burner, shows the glass. It looks like glass. And I love that. So the light marks here, some reflections up here. And I love the history behind this one, that it's literally from our own region that put the coal miners there. This is a freehand one, kind of off a picture, but I freehanded it. This is a little bridge I found in the woods in the Poconos. And it was just kind of an experimental piece, but I discovered these new standalone pieces. So I bought a few of them and just wanted to try my hand at it. So that's what it looks like when it's more immersed in watercolor. This is a self-portrait. This is me when I was 48. I have one when I was 47. I haven't done 49 yet. But this is wrinkled, but there's the original, and there's the work that I wrote. So I just think it's cool to have my own self-portraits that I did myself. This one is called Stay. This one is a vase that I have at home, and these are flowers that I pulled out of my garden, and I left them in there too long, and they started to die. I asked my daughter what she thought about a name for it, and she came up with Stay. And I thought that is just poignant. Isn't that really cool? So this one was just in the Art Museum in Erie for their spring and summer show. So he just came home. They should all be off, but they're very, very hot. So just be mindful of touching anything above the color, okay? But this is a wood burning tool. You've probably all seen them. They cost between $10 and $20 at Walmart, or the dollar store has them. Michael's has them. Wherever craft supplies are sold, you can use them. So this is a wood burning tool. This one, this is mine. So it's a little bit different. This is the cheapest version they have. Mine's like the medium version. It costs about $100. And it has different temperature gauges. It has different nibs that you can put on the end of it. This one is just hot all the time. And there's no, and the tips are different. So, let me see, okay. Oh, that one's not gonna come out. These ones just screw out, and there's maybe 10 or 12 maybe different options for tips. The one that you have in there is the most basic one, kind of like using a pencil. Just whatever you can do with a pencil, you can do with this. But there are different tips. So I'll have all of these up here if you want to look at them in a little bit. Mine comes out with a metal tool, and it just pulls out, and it has those little wire things that connect inside. The attachment that I have here, oh, okay, mine is on. It leaves a lovely skid mark when you touch it. So this has wire nibs, and it just has very different ones. So this is more like the pencil, like if you were just writing with a pencil. But this one probably has 20, 25 different options. The one above this is anywhere between $300 to $600, and it's just everything of the wood burning tools, and that comes with a lot of different options. The most important things are the burner, sandpaper, because we have to make sure that the surface is smooth before we burn it. These should be pretty good. These are like 99 cents at Michael's, I think. They're really cheap, but any sandpaper works. I did a very large piece of pine it was a sign about this big for a friend's business. It took me 10 hours to sand it. Because with pine, you sand it and wet it, the grains rise. You sand it again, and you wet it again, and the grains rise. And we just have to keep sanding and wetting until there's no more grain. So that took about 10 hours. Things like this that we would buy or harvest from a yard, birchwood, beechwood, kind of the nicer, tighter wood isn't going to take that long. But this is not a smoke detector. It sucks the smoke in. The opposite of a fan. What's it called?
A vacuum?
Yeah, something like that. It's slipping my mind. Yeah, the sucker of smoke. That's what this is. The sucker of smoke.
No, that's too funny. Staying in.
A lot of wood burning people don't feel the need to use this. I feel the need to not breathe in smoke all the time. So in a room this big, I won't turn it on. But like if I'm just in my studio by myself, I'll have this almost right next to my work that I'm doing. I've got breathing issues anyway, so that helps me. I've tried doing it outside, and I've tried using a fan, and it just blows the heat off the wood burner. So it's not nearly as effective, which is, I find interesting. I don't know why it does that. And then this is this is empty, so we're good. This is my signature, and it's what I sign my stuff with. And it just heats up over just a little pocket rocket heater thing. So my kids got me that tool a few years ago. You have in front of you these crocheting needles because they're easy to grab and use, and I grabbed them at my nonprofit. They come in. This is what I use to trace my picture with. There's different options. You could use anything that sharp works to trace with. But this is what I use. Tape, painter's tape, and scissors are all good options to have when we do a wood burning piece. So it's fun. The types of wood that are used. So basswood is the softest hardwood that grows, and so that's what most pyrographers use is basswood. It's not native to here; it's native in New England. So I have to buy, like all of these, I have to buy these pieces locally here. So basswood is good. Birch is really good. That's when I make ornaments. That's typically what I use as birch. Butternut is really good. I think we have butternut here. We have it in New England. I'm from Maine, so we have butternut wood in Maine. Beechwood is good. Pine is good. Pine is what these rounds are. You're welcome to try them. The amount of smoke that comes out of them is not worth it to me to use to burn on. I just don't think it's pleasant. And it doesn't make a real smooth burn because the grains are so prominent in there. And I don't want to spend another 10 hours sanding every piece that I do. So, but birchwood, beechwood, butternut, they're all really, really good options for doing that.